Vivendi has just a few weeks to make a decision about unloading its stake in NBC Universal. And today, Bloomberg News is reporting that French conglomerate wants more cash from GE as part of any deal. GE owns 80% of NBC right now and is in talks with Comcast about selling a controlling stake. But first, it must buy back the 20% owned by Vivendi, which wants the cash to compensate for a year of regulatory hurdles. And staying on this theme, investors say General Electric has few choices and may end up being the biggest loser in the Comcast-NBC Universal talks. Greg Miles has been following this story for us all along and joins us with the latest.
So I'll tell you, John, investors say this is the worst time to sell media assets. Well, GE promised 6 years ago that NBC Universal would be a huge win for shareholders. But the venture's value has plunged since then, and they say now is the last best hope to get out by selling a 51% stake to Comcast, the first step in a wholesale retreat from the media business before the unit's value falls even more.
I think there is a sense of urgency. The comps, if you consider what was happening a year ago with the elections and all the spending that took place, the year-over-year comps are going to be very bad. We've had really some of the major advertisers, the automakers in particular, who have drastically cut back their spending. So those numbers are going to look pretty grim.
Well, NBC's strategy of moving Jay Leno to a new hour has caused collapsing viewership throughout the late-night hours, killing profits, and also competition from the internet threatens the company long-term. Now, Stern Agee, for example, forecasts a 30% fall in fourth-quarter profits at NBCU and another 28% decline for next year. Investors also say that all this talk of an IPO is, well, not a realistic option. As a joint venture, the unit's financial details are now mostly private, but investors say that if NBCU were made public, it would damage its market value.
I think if you lifted the tablecloth up and you looked at the component parts, certainly they would be perhaps more acute in certain segments of those franchises than people today are aware of. And that might, alter the competitive strategy of News Corp or, of Time Warner or other of your competitors.
Well, already investors say that the value of NBCU has fallen from around $40 billion 6 years ago to $30 billion today, and it could fall to as low as $20 to $25 billion with an IPO, a huge loss in value. Now, right now, Wall Street is debating whether the company might pose a sizable loss as GE unloads the media unit. The Cayman at Stern Agee, for example, says that GE could suffer an unrealized loss of $8 billion. Ms. Sean Egan at Egan Jones says that GE is a whiz at accounting, and by using so-called minority accounting, it could boost the paper value of the NBC stake and avoid a loss. So you could say that GE brings good things to life and to accounting.
Who knew those Leno ratings were going to be like they have been? Thanks very much for that, Greg.